There is power in being passive in the sense that you allow things to unfold. Now, some people would describe me as a puppet master. Okay, stay with me. I like to sit back, observe, and move my own way independently. Now, I don't have to tell everybody to get up and leave. My people will look at me leaving like, nah, I'm not messing with this situation. They'll be like, wait a minute, what am I not seeing in this situation that Ari saw so I can get up and leave too? Because something's not right. She doesn't remove herself unless something is really, really wrong. So my best friend had a friend and she wanted to introduce the two of us and we could all be cool in a friend group potentially, but it did not work out that way because that person had a lot of problems. That person was antagonizing the hell out of me. He didn't know if he wanted to be my friend or my enemy, just a real confused person. And my best friend was like, no, he really admires you. He's just had some bad friends in the past. Like, he's cool. I promise he has a good heart. Please just give him another chance. He needs a good friend like me and you in his life. And I'm like, look, I gave it a chance. We just don't mesh well. Okay. I can't be around this person because I don't feel safe. You can still be friends with them. I will not take that personally at all. And I said, look, I know your heart. I know how wonderful and nurturing you are. I know you would never betray me or put me in an unsafe situation, but I just need you to see for yourself who this person is. And this person was convinced that I was putting thoughts and manipulating my friend's head to turn them against each other. The thing about me is I don't need to go on a crusade to convince people to not like somebody. Because in this situation, I'm just like, he'll expose himself. The mask always falls off. So my best friend and this guy had a really bad falling out, let's say 5 years prior to this. They were really close. They were like roommates and everything. But he reaches back out all these years later saying, I have nothing. I have nobody, to my best friend. And he's like, I'm about to myself. I just wanted to say goodbye. And she was like, no, this isn't the way. Come on now. And they shared a little inside joke and they just had a little kiki, like a little moment, and they started talking again. And so much time had passed in between when they had that fallout and when they reunited. My best friend met me during that time. And he was clearly upset that he did not hold the same place in her life that I now held. At this point, it had been like a year of me and my best friend knowing each other, and we grew so close and we grew such a bond that it was like, yes, you are my best friend. They were having a conversation on the phone and he was like, are you sure that's your best friend? You keep calling her your best friend. And she was like, yeah, that's my best friend. And he was like, well, how do you know that? And she said, she's never done me wrong. I'm better for knowing her. And he legitimately starts crying. You don't even know her for real. How can she be your best friend and not me? And she's like, whoa, that's my best friend. She's been nothing but good to me. And from there, he started trying to find flaws within me in order to break me and her apart. It was crazy. It's a longer story. He was trying so hard to get that smear campaign up and running. He was trying so hard to get the airy hate train going. Leave the hate train in the station, please. But he couldn't because I never actively antagonized or even responded to him because, number one, I was employed at the time. I was worried about my money. I had other things on my mind. I was working. I was looking for the next step in my career, shit that you actually worry about as an adult. Meanwhile, he was kind of unemployed. He was just staring at the blank walls of his apartment and like concocting plans, concocting narratives to present to my best friend. So I was just like, oh my God, this is so high school. This is so middle school. In fact, he kept trying to plant every little seed and it wasn't working. He would tell my best friend, didn't you see she rolled her eyes when you said this? Did you see how she reacted when you said that? And my best friend would be like, nope. Doesn't sound like Ari. Nope, doesn't sound like her. And at some point he was just doing way too much for me. And I removed myself from the situation. I was like, look, I love you so much. I don't want to deal with this individual. Point blank, period. Our relationship won't change, but he gotta go. But still, she felt like an obligation to him. She was just like a mother to him, and that was her badass little boy. She didn't want to get rid of him because he was given, if you get rid of me, I'm gonna myself, and she didn't want to be responsible for that. And not much longer later, maybe even a month, this person does something very, very bad. This person, I don't want to put exactly what they did out there because I don't want to give nobody out in the world ideas of how to do this to somebody else. So essentially, he took a large sum of money from a grandmother raising her grandchild on her own. because he felt like he deserved that money more than that grandmother. Instead of getting a job, you decided to steal from a grandmother raising her grandchild all on her own. And my best friend naturally said, "You're wrong for that. You're wrong." And he's like, what do you mean I'm wrong? You don't want me to win? You don't want me to have this money? I can finally win. I can finally get what I need with this money. She said, "No, that's not winning. That's just wrong. You're dead plain wrong. Plain and simple." He said, "Ari must have told you that. She's putting ideas in your head, huh?" She was like, "I don't need anybody to tell me how wrong and evil what you just did was." From there, oh my goodness, it was just an all out, "Oh, you're this, you're a fat bitch, you're a black bitch, you're a this bitch. Oh, nobody's ever gonna want you. Oh, that's why da 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 da." That person, what he said was demonic. I'm not even going to say everything he said to my best friend, but it was disgusting. And somehow, some way, my name kept coming up. He kept blaming me. He kept blaming me for why this was happening, why they're arguing. He's, "Oh, Ari must have told you that. Oh, Ari must have did this. Oh, Ari must have did that." No, I'm hands off, passive. I let it unfold. I let you reveal the evil person that you actually are. And when it comes to people like that, you never have to do too much because they always end up destroying themselves in the end. I'm so glad it went that way, that I let it happen that way, because could you imagine if I wasted any energy on such a waste of a human being? Just let it unfold. There's power to being passive.